comic book fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Cammy. Now let's get right into the pick of the week. There was a lot of good books out from DC and Disney this week, so let's get right into it. First up, pick of the week from Dynamite Entertainment. We have The Boys number 34, written by Garth, Ennis, and art by Carlos Ezquerra. Now, in the last issue, the guys are after Stormfront. The boys are after Stormfront. After what they did to the female, ooh, they're gonna kick his ass. So pretty much it's them looking around for this Nazi Superman, and Stormfront gets to jump on them. But Billy Butcher and Stormfront are going at it. They're both taking swipes at each other, both just beating the crap out of each other. And Stormfront has them, and he says, you know, now you're gonna die. And he says, no, well, you know, just like in World War II, it was the United Kingdom that held out until the Yanks came in. And at that point, Mother's Milk comes from behind, hits him in the back of the head with a baseball bat. Oh, and the French. Then the Frenchman comes in, kicks his ass. And the guys who trudged all the way to Berlin, the Ruskies. And then Love Sausage returns, and he kicks his ass as well. And then all of them, they're just kicking and punching and beating the ever-living shit out of Stormfront. And sure enough, he gets his brains bashed in by the end of the issue. And Huey's just kind of, he's not really sure about all this. Like, he's been, for the past, 34 issues, contemplating, do I stay on the boys? Is it for me? Do I leave? But after seeing grisly violence like this, he might want to change his mind. And at the end, we have a little scene at the hospital where they're just waiting for the female to wake up, and Huey's kind of confessing to her since she's in a coma. Like, if he should stay or go, but he can't when she's like this. And he goes for some of her candy, some of her chocolate limes. And she automatically springs to life, breaks his hand, and enjoys her candies. And everyone's happy except for Huey, who has a broken arm. Fun issue. The Boys is just so much fun these past couple of issues. Not much of the Vought American stuff, which kind of, weighed it down in my opinion. The next issue, we get to see Butcher live up to his name as being a butcher. Now on to the Fast Five! First up from Icon, we have Incognito number 6. Now this is the final issue in the first volume of Incognito. Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips will be back after they do the next volume of Criminal, and then after that, another Incognito. But we find Zach Overkill, being told by the doctor that there was 26 other brothers that he had that were all cloned from Lazarus's science experiments. And so, while he's there, his brother that he never knew about, Yuri, is out acting like Zach, robbing banks, killing people, making a total scene to give Zach a bad name and hopefully get captured and put in a cell right across from Black Death so he can then blow himself up and get Black Death out of prison. But meanwhile, back in the secret underground lair, Ava Destruction gets out because she's old and wrinkly now because she got zapped. Knocks him over the head, lets Zach go free to go fight Yuri, who he does. It's a big brawl between brothers, and he rips his heart out and throws it away before it blows up. And Zach likes this new feeling of being a superhero. So we might be seeing more of Zach in the second volume being a superhero. Fun stuff. Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker should never part. I've said this before in the past. I'm just re-emphasizing it. Next up from Boom Studios, we have Irredeemable number 6. What's up with the I titles in all number 6? Anyway, we have Modius bots taking over the headquarters, and everyone's just kind of freaking out because then one of the Modius bots clicks a little blinker alerting the Plutonian where they're at. And so they're all like, we gotta evacuate now because he's gonna be here in literally seconds. So they have no choice but to go transport to his underground volcano lair where it's so hot only he can stand the heat. Meanwhile, when he gets there, Charybdis has stayed behind because he wants to buy him some time, which he does by pushing a button and having tapes from an old Victory play, where there was this flesh-eating bacteria that was going through all these children, leaving them just skeletons, walking skeletons, like something out of the Night of the Living Dead. It was an alien virus, so as soon as the team took care of it, all the children died. So it was a bittersweet victory. And how Charybdis tells him, you're the problem. You caused that virus, which kind of hits him home because he wasn't acting himself. Anyway, killer stuff. Can't wait to see what happens in the next issue. Next up from Vertigo, we have Northlanders number 20. Now this is a one-shot, but it's a nice little epilogue of what happens to Sven the Immortal. After way back in the first arc, we followed Sven coming home. But in this one, his tale about how great and powerful and how he's the deadliest warrior has spread throughout the lands. And this little young group of whippersnappers, Vikings, decide, hey, we can do that too. We can go take down Sven the Immortal. That shouldn't be a problem. So they travel all this way to him and his family. And they say, okay, you know, let's have a one-on-one duel. But his speed really freaks them out. He just takes his sword out and then stabs him right in the head. And these guys are pissed because this old man is making them look bad. So they go back, kidnap his wife, he has to go after him, and he slaughters them, showing them why he is, in fact, Sven the Immortal. Next up from Dark Horse, we have Sir Edward Grey Witchfinder #3. Now, this is a tiny little Hellboy spin-off tale following Sir Edward Grey as he, explores the paranormal. And there's this creature that's on the loose, killing people. And the thing that I really enjoyed about this issue was not only Mike Mignola's script or Ben Stenbeck's art, but Dave Stewart and Dave Stewart's colors and Ben Stenbeck's art just together look just fantastic and gorgeous. You always want to trust a colorist like Dave Stewart when it comes to tales like this. But anyway, this horrible demon is slaughtering everyone, and Sir Edmund Grey has a sword, banishes the creature, and the creature convinces this church that he's an angel and he needs to replenish off their blood. So it's just a creepy story. And then we get the origin story about how they were grown underground, and then they rebelled. It's just gorgeous artwork. I'm telling you. The story's pretty good too, but this is a Fast 5 pick from the art alone. I just had such a fantastic time with it. I'm just spilling my cards and everything. It's great. And finally this week from Disney, we have the Immortal Weapons #2. Now this one focuses on the Bride of Nine Spiders, and it shows her predecessor battling the murderous lion and how he wants to be her mate, but like a Black Widow spider, she just kills him. She doesn't need him. And then one of the wounded spiders from that battle is left behind. It's found, sold at auction as being the singing spider, and how it can give you hallucinations and make you see and hear things that are just, not of this realm. So this one guy buys it. He wants to bring forth the Bride of Nine Spiders, so he tortures the spider just to give the right frequency to bring forth the Bride of Nine Spiders. Well, we find out what happens in the aftermath, because the other bidder who wanted this spider sent some thieves to go collect. But these thieves find that, everyone's been pretty much killed. The Bride of Nine Spiders does exist, and she wasn't so happy when she was called forth like that. So she kills her captors. It's very creepy. She pretty much drives everyone insane at the end. And the Bride of Nine Spiders was one of my favorites in the Iron Fist series. So it was a nice little one-shot by Cullen Bunn and Dan Brereton. I had a fun time. If you like the Immortal Weapons, you'll have a fun time too. Well, that's just it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, head on over to www.cammyscomiccorner.com. From there, you can finally see the uploaded Comic-Con 2009 video in 7 parts, but it's all great. I have some killer interviews up there. Took me a while to edit, but I think it's finally worth it. So head on over there if you want to check that out. And also, if you want to check out the forums, the reviews I have every week, the book of the month, which should be up by this Sunday, etc. And also, if you like any of the comic book t-shirts that you see me wearing, like Sinestro Corps, head on over to www.deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email. He has all sorts of DC, Disney, Dark Horse, Image, comic book t-shirts, all available, and he also does custom made as well. There's only one name that I trust when it comes to comic book t-shirts, and that is www.deadlinegraphics.net. And also, big shout out to my other sponsor, Rising Sun Creations at rsc-online.com. Rising Sun Creations specializes in U.S. comic books, manga, and collectible toys imported straight from Japan. I had an interview last week with Sean Gallows and Ryan Benjamin, and that interview will be up within the next couple of weeks too. They have a great online store and physical store in Mission Valley if you are in the San Diego area. So head on over to rsc-online.com today. Big shout out again for being my sponsor. Well, like I said before, that does do it for Cammy's Comic Corner this week. I hope you all had a great, fantastic, comic book filled week. But alas, I must go and take care of the puppy. One thing about getting a puppy is you have to be a puppy sitter and make sure that it doesn't chew up everything. Oh, but if it chews up any of my comic books, going to go visit the farm, as it were. Not really. Good night, everybody!